Welcome back, everyone. Scurv here, LanceScurvX.com. This is going to be a shoot from the hip type of abstract offering. I'm in that zone right now. And I just finished having a conversation with someone very close to me who were on very similar levels. And they asked me the question. They basically said that they wonder how their life would have been if they made different decisions, which would have ended them up on a whole different trajectory, if they made different decisions from many decades ago. And my heart told me to say this. It's not for you to wonder about that. But we're human beings and we're going to wonder about those things. We can't help but think that once we choose a crossroad to go up, and things sometimes happen on that road that we chose in life, that what would it have been if we chose to go up this other road? That's natural. The main thing is not to get stuck in that thought, because those are lessons learned. And instead of getting stuck in the thought, which we will still think about our past, which is a good thing when we can learn lessons from it to move forward in the future. But I'm not speaking of reminiscing. You're speaking to old friends, you have pleasant memories. Sweet thing. But when you're home or in your bed in the middle of the night, or to yourself on a long walk or a long drive, a song comes on and you begin to think about a person you might have been with, a place where you worked, a place where you lived, different family members who some might be good and some might be toxic. These are all lessons. These are all lessons to make you better. The trick is not to allow what you've been through rob you of your purity. Now, when I say purity, I don't mean that everybody is perfect or people are absolutely perfect. There's no way that you're going to be on this earth dealing with the stuff, the attacks, the spiritual attacks, the personalities, the wayward individuals that come across your path to knock you off. You might say a bad word, you might think a bad thought, but when you have a pure spirit, that's not you, and you come out of that quickly. But you have to know, and this is very important in my deepest thoughts, that when you do possess that pure spirit, that good spirit, that spirit that doesn't know jealousy, that spirit that doesn't know hate towards somebody for no reason, when you're the victim of those things, it hurts because you know that pretty much you would not inflict discomfort on anyone when you have that pure spirit. But you have to understand that in this lifetime, not everybody has a pure spirit. And as a matter of fact, most people do not have a pure spirit. Most people can pass the litmus test, can pass the radar, and perform in a way where they're viewed as being good people. But in 2026, in this man-made engineered society, very few people are pure and have truly good spirits, where they wish the best for other people, where they want to help other people, where they take joy in the victories of other people. If you're that person, then expect to be attacked in this world. Why? We've said it before. We spoke about this before, but this is something I truly feel. The word that I use for these people, they're hollows. They are hollows. They're an empty space. They don't have souls. I'm convinced many people on this level do not have souls because they cannot do the things that they do to their fellow man, meaning man and woman, if they truly had a soul. And when they can see that you have a soul and a good spirit, it agitates them because they see something in you that doesn't exist in themselves. So you must be banished, because now, no matter how many homes they own, how much money they have in the bank, how many cars they have, how famous they are, your presence makes them see how much of a void they have within. They can't coexist with you. They must destroy you. I'm not saying they're going to try to unalive you, and in some cases they will try to do that. But your name has to be smeared. They have to get to others who may embrace you or gravitate toward your pure spirit, your loving spirit. They have to keep the masses away from knowing who you are, because by default, not that you're trying to compare yourself to anyone, but by default, they know if others connect with you, those others will see them for who they are. So the shape-shifting begins, and the smear campaigns begin. But I'm going to tell you, when you have a pure, loving spirit, which is the God force, you can have the God force inside of you as you develop on this earth. You can have the God force in you, and you may slip into things in your development because of the trauma that's thrown at you. I've known people who have the God force, pure spirit in them. They're not perfect, but they're ascending. People who have had drug addictions, anger issues, sex addictions, different types of gambling addictions. But they had the God force in them, and because of the environment that they came up in, they may have slipped for a while, been down on themselves, not realizing they're destined to rise, because it's in their destiny to shine and rise above everything that comes at them. And when they realize this, it's a beautiful thing. I've seen so many people attacked. And we're not, again, talking about being attacked with your fist, but to rewire you. Friends who secretly dislike you. They like you in one way, but they dislike you in other ways. So they try to get things in your head to destroy you. This is why you have to keep your mouth shut lots of times when you have plans. Because the hollows, those who have no soul, those who have no purpose, they live, they're in physical bodies. They eat, they sleep, they go to work, they can say nice words, they can do everything on the surface, but they're hollow. This is the only way that it could be explained, because they take on the shape so easy of negativity that may be around them, and they soak it on up. And they have no conscious thought or second thought to say, this is wrong. They can turn around and backstab you and go to sleep and have a good night's sleep because they have no soul. They're vessels, empty vessels. And again, when they see your passion, when they see the God force in you and the love inside of you, and you're striving to become better, not to show off. And I don't mean better on a worldly level, but your sensitivity to the pain and suffering of others, the giving, loving heart that you have, they despise it. I'm speaking from experience. Even the ones you help will be the very ones who will try to destroy you, because they'll selfishly take aid from you. It could be money. It could be a shoulder to cry on. It could be your advice or your presence to get them through a rough time. And when they think about it, because the hollows, their spirit, their mind is inverted. So they take something good that you did for them and find a way to make it something bad. The very people you help, and you didn't help them because of ego. You didn't help them because you wanted a photo op to say how good you are. See, I did this for you, so I'm a good person. See, yes, I did that for him. See, I'm a good person. No, you quietly help them out in some way. And when they get on their feet, what's the first thing many of them say? You may not hear it. The first thing a lot of them say about you, with your God spirit, with your pure spirit, with your loving spirit, when you gave out of love, the first thing they'll say to themselves is, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You help them and they take it the wrong way. They'll even stop speaking to you because they know they don't have that inside of them to give to the world or to give to someone who needs. In your path, you will always be tested. And many of the hollows, they're not trying to pass a test because they're going to righteously fail every time because they have nothing in them. But you have to understand, when you ask yourself sometimes in the quiet moments, why is this happening to me? Why does this keep happening to me? I try to be good to people around me. I try to walk a path where I'm sensitive to the trials and tribulations of someone else and offer my help. Why is it that it seems like I end up being the bad person after it's all said and done? Well, that's the reason why. That's the reason why. There's nothing wrong with you. But I don't want you to become hardened. I don't want you to believe that you need to infuse your spirit with the same evil that might fill the voids of those hollows. Because as I'm learning, and many of us as we get older, we learn that time moves fast. And we don't really have as much time as we thought when we were younger, pre-teen. You hear of someone who says they're 35 years old and you're 12 years old and you say, oh my, they're old. I used to think that way, not all the time because my mind was expanded, but when I was younger, I was, you're old. Now that I'm 63, 35 is damn near a kid to me. It's all relative. We all have our own timelines. But the trick is to be able to be ready, because we don't know when we're going to transition, but be ready by being the best manifestation of yourself without the scuff marks, without the sludge of these hollows and what they try to put on you by doing things to you to get you upset, to take you out of character because they know your destiny. They're also destiny thieves. They see where you're going in this life. And I don't mean fame and status and lots of money. Well, maybe you might get that. But that shouldn't deter you from becoming the best person that you're supposed to be. Should not. And these hollows are so full of resentment, but they're smiling at you. Good morning, how are you? How are you, my sister? Love you, my sister. Hey, brother, we have to get together and live as one. And they got hell planned for you because you cannot exist because you show them up. And you're not even trying to show them up. That's the thing. You're being yourself. You're assessing the world by the state of your own mind. So you figure you're not looking for anything from anybody else, but you figure if I give goodness to you, you give it to somebody else, I'll get some back, and we'll just live in this perpetual place of joy. But the fact of the matter is, these people don't want that. And just like I finished saying in the conversation that I had moments before I hit the on button for this video, could you imagine a world where, number one, if we all had pure, loving, giving spirits with the God force? I'm talking about the righteous God, the righteous creator, because there's some things that some of you got altars for in your house, and you call out some kind of names, and you say it's this type of spirituality, an African spirituality, but you're really in the occult. Because your heart and what you produce, if that was good and righteous, you wouldn't go on like that towards your friends, so-called, towards your own family members. You can't speak to them because of this resentment inside of you, because you're a hollow. You can't even take charge and clean out your heart and be that person and try to make yourself that person that only takes on good qualities, not just on the surface to sound good on YouTube, but when nobody else is looking, when nobody else is around. The things you do to people and the resentment you hold, you know that you have it. I'm not here to blow anybody up, but we all know what we have inside of our hearts. But you can't let those people take you away from the destiny, where you're going, and the way the Creator made you, and what He put inside of you that others don't have, that they're resentful for. Many of you may know of this. Many of you may know of this from experience. And me working with the incarcerated as a corrections officer, I saw it firsthand, and I heard about it before. What am I talking about? I'm talking about broadcasting when the end of your sentence is going to be. You may have a day room of other, I hate to use the word inmates, but I have to use it because that's what it is in that system. You may have a whole day room full of inmates. Let's just pick a number. Say 40, 39, excluding you. And you're sitting there, and you're going to get out in 2 weeks, and you're so happy. You're on the phone where they can hear you, baby, I'm coming home. I'm going to be home in 2 weeks. I can't wait to eat that food that you prepare. I can't wait to see my family. I can't wait to make love to you. Whatever it may be. Some of these guys that you swear are your friends, they're playing cards, they're hearing this, and they're smiling. But they will have a resentment for you. Maybe not everybody, because I've seen some feel good for the brothers who are getting out. But that other brother who hears that you're getting out in 2 weeks, he may be up for 5 years, 10 years. He may be going through the trial that's going to look like pretty much he's going to be away for a long time. And he's got to hear that you're getting out in 2 weeks. So what do? They plan some type of altercation that you get caught up in, that you catch another charge added on to your time there, which is almost over. But now, remember, you can catch a charge in prison, in jail, and start the whole process over again. If you did something to somebody, you have to prove self-defense, but it's really bad now and you're not getting out. They may have drugs in the jail or the prison, smuggled in from one of the corrections officers or one of the nurses, and get a hold of that and plant it in your bed, in your box that you keep your commissary in. There may be other COs that don't like you working along with them, and they tell them, I put it in there. Go find it, and now they got another charge. It could be a multitude of many things, but so-called in the outside free world, don't you think that you don't have people who are smiling in your face and planning your downfall? They may come to you and want to do something physical, but that's not usually the way it is. They could be in front of their altar, doing their juju that they think is going to work. They could be trying to block you from a connection that will help you in your area of expertise as far as employment, your career. They'll do little things and come back and smile with you and act sad when it didn't work out for you and absorb your pain and frustration and take joy from that. Because these hollow-minded and hollow-spirited people, they take joy. And every time you slip and fall, and they want to see you defeated. And when they throw something out and make it obvious that they are against you for no other reason than for you having a pure, loving spirit. Yes, somebody may flip the bird at you and give you the finger on the highway, cut you off, and you might get mad and flip it back. It doesn't mean that you don't have a pure spirit, because when you have lived enough on this level and you can gauge a person's spirit, how they feel, you might be distracted and your spirit of discernment is off a little bit, but when you're on, you're always right. But when you get into this way of seeing the aura of a person or their spirit energy, in the beginning of you honing these abilities, it's almost like learning how to drive. Let's say a family member or a driving instructor is out there teaching you how to drive. And so now you have a residential street where cars can park, but there is a lane going forward and one coming back, but there's no line in the middle, right? So now your judgment is not honed yet, just the same way your gift of discernment is not honed yet. So here you are now. There are cars parked on both sides, and there's a double park car which only leaves one lane for you to pass through. And you got 2 feet on each side of your vehicle, but because your judgment is off, you're looking and creeping up slow because you don't want to hit these vehicles, but you're so far away from it. When you drive after a while, your judgment skills are precise more. So you can be driving down a different street that has a lane for each side to park the cars, 2 lanes in the middle, one going forward, one coming back, and there's a truck there, 18-wheeler. Now, you've been driving for years. Your judgment is exemplary, and you got about 2 inches on each side. You have your side mirror and your other side mirror, and guess what? Because your skills of judgment, of distance, is so much better. You leaning back, you drive, you don't even slow down. You don't even really look, you just know. So this is why when I use the example of the old grandmother sitting on the front porch, that when you come home with a friend that you think is a friend, later on after that friend leaves and gives the Colgate smile and acts proper in the introduction, that grandmother would say, son, daughter, whichever one it is, that's not your friend. That's not your friend. Now, me personally, I have been fooled many times, but now I stick with what I feel in my gut, and I can see it now. So therefore, I don't waste time with these hollows. I don't want them around me. I don't hate anybody, but I don't want to be around anybody who's going to take my love and my giving spirit and turn it around because they're resentful of anybody who has that inside of them. It agitates them. They have, let's just symbolically say, they have demons in them. If other than that, they're hollow, but they will house evil inside of themselves, and they'll be very convincing so that you can draw them in. They want you to embrace them. They're very convincing. In boxing, each fighter has his own corner with their cornermen. They can't knock you out when they're standing way in their corner and you're in yours. What do they have to do? They put their guard up and they have to get in position to throw the blows to hurt you. So I'm not saying not to allow or keep everybody away from you, because after you've been burnt a couple times by these hollow spirits, you kind of say to yourself, I don't really want to be around too many people. And that's not a bad thing to do, as far as you not opening the door, let everybody just come on in. No, that's mayhem, that's chaos. You're inviting trouble. And I know that once these entities realize that you know who they are and what their intentions are, and they know that you have power inside of you. See, love doesn't mean, and a pure spirit doesn't mean that you're some pansy, some weak person that lets anybody on in to your inner sanctuary, whether it be your home, your space, your mind, your future plans. And this is why I suggest that once you know the spirits of these people, you shapeshift back on them. It's defense. You know, even in boxing, somebody will feint like they're going to throw a certain blow, and they don't do it, but it throws you in a position where you're anticipating a blow, but it opens them up for something else, some other attack, which you're not attacking anybody, but you have the right to protect your peace, and never forget that. Too many of us, again, feeling as though we're assessing the world by the state of our own mind and thinking everybody has this loving spirit because you do. You're wrong. The majority won't. But when you do connect with someone who has that same spirit, you never let them go, because they have to go through the battles that you go through. And it's almost like being in a war and you're on the same side. And in this war, it's not a ceasefire, but you're down in the trenches now. You're a little safer while the bullets above you and the bombs go off above you. They can't touch you for this time that you're eating or resting. You have to hold hands with these people, and I'm saying symbolically and sometimes for real, and boost them up. They're worthy of your love. They're worthy of your attention. There are people who are so needy for this. I've seen it all in life. I've seen it all. I'm telling you, I've seen it all. And in cyberspace, it's even worse, because you don't know what you're dealing with. You know, there's a lot of people that don't come around, as far as, you know, I don't want those folks around me, but they change their avatars, they change their names, and they're right up there. How you doing, Lance? Good evening. I'm like, yeah, good evening. I know who you are. It's crazy. It's crazy. It baffles the mind, but never question yourself. Never question your goodness. Never question your kind heart, but you have to budget it. You can't give it to everybody, because if you give it to the wrong people, there's a price to pay. And it's not your fault for being good. It's not your fault for being loving. You just have to understand the world that we live in right now. And the evil and the bad thoughts and bad intentions is amplifying right now because most people don't understand. See, many of us are so materialistic and we want more than the next person, and we want more followers, and we want more fame than the next person, and then what? You're gonna leave this planet. What does all of that mean? This video won't exist at some point in the future, and I'll be gone. It's about now and the energy that we can exchange now with the time that we have here now. 100 years from now, you talk about Lance Scurv, like, what? Who's that? Who's that? Lance Scurv. I'm not trying to get some points to be, no, I'm trying to make myself better. I'm trying to be a better person. I've taken a lot of detours along the way, but I always knew there was something about me different. And people will try to convince you that you don't have what you may not know yet that you have. They'll try to convince you to get involved in activities or have that same mindset toward the rest of the world, knowing that you don't even belong around them. And I'm not trying to say, oh, you're better than this and better, but there's certain people and there's certain things that you are better than because of what you have inside of you. Yes, I said it. Because that's the first thing they'll say. Oh, you think you better than somebody. Well, I was made the way I was made, and I'm not going to say I'm better, but my ways might be better. My direction, my trajectory, what the Creator has for me might be better. Why are you worried about me thinking I'm better if I'm trying to do better? Do I think I'm better because I give of myself, of service as a servant to the people who deserve my energy? I'm not going to waste myself trying to convince, and this is what you should not do, waste yourself trying to convince these hollows who have nothing going on, nothing good inside of them. What are you you want to be part of that club? That's no club to be a part of. I don't care how much they may have, they may not have. That's irrelevant. What's inside here, inside your heart, and the intention inside of your mind, and the energy that they don't have or have. That's what you have to decipher. Because they can put up what do they have on a force field, like on Star Trek, the science fiction series from years ago. They can put up a force field of goodness around them. And they can look angelic. Not in their look per se, but in how they feel. And you'll say, oh, this is a nice person. This is a worthy person. This is a God-fearing person. And I don't mean God-fearing like I'm scared. You'd be scared if you're doing something wrong, yeah. But respecting righteousness. And as soon as they get close to you, that force field, that illusion, that thing drops, and you realize you're sitting there, and I'm going to say it symbolically, you're hanging out and sitting up or laying up in the bed with a damn devil, with a damn demon in your life. And you're like, how did this person get so close to me? Because you opened up the door and let them right on in. Because they deceived you. Because you believed that force field that was around them. But here's the thing. It's almost like Star Trek again. Remember you had Scotty, who was like an engineer. And whenever there was an enemy hurling bombs at the Starship Enterprise, they had to put up the force field. And there's a thing called dilithium crystals. I mean, I guess they made this up, right? I was a kid into all of this. And Scotty, after a few bombs were sent at the force field, it weakened the force field. And Scotty would always say, Captain, the dilithium crystals, they cannot hold up any longer. You know what I mean? So they can't maintain that facade for so long when they are a hollow, and they're not that. They're plastic. The exterior is contrived, it's plastic, it's not real, it's an illusion. So once they see that you're not fooled by this illusion, they have to flee you, because who they really are on the inside is going to be quite evident, and they can tell when you know it. See, to go around about and come back to the same point, we are energy. And we have to know this, that we are energy. And we can feel different types of energy. Even when you walk down the street, and I've used this example before, say it's 10 o'clock in the morning, most folks already went to work, things are going on, but it's not like lunchtime, it's not like in the evening rush hour, you happen to be walking down the street. It might be your day off, bright sunny day, and you're walking. If you drive, you say, well, I feel like taking a walk right now. You're walking down the street, it's quiet, but something tells you, look to the right and look up on the second floor of that house. You may not hear that command in your brain, but you feel something and you look up. And guess what? There's somebody in the window looking straight at you. They've been looking at you as you walk down the street. You felt their energy. You didn't hear any noise. They didn't call to you, but you felt their energy. Animals, dogs, even an animal that may be dangerous, they can pick up your spirit. If you're scared and fearful and want to run, they might run after you. But if you stand your ground and you look at them and realize, this is not happening today, buddy. They'll look at you, they'll blink their eyes, and they'll go on. Certain animals will gravitate toward you because of your wonderful spirit. Others, they back away. It's all energy. See people like that. Feel them. Sometimes you have to act as though you're not really paying them no mind. Say, for example, you're on a job, a new job, and you're in the break room. People have been cordial, you're eating, they're leaving you alone. But pick up what they're saying. I'm not saying to ear hustle, but use all information that you get for your benefit to see what's inside of these people. Because they might treat you nice. They might treat you sweet. But you see how they dog somebody else out. So therefore you have to know it's just a matter of time before that same spirit comes back around to you. There's so many things in this life that are basic and easy to absorb, but we have to put it into practice. But again, at the end of the day, like I say, protect yourself at all times. You have the right to maintain your happiness. You have the right to be full in who you are. I'm not saying be full of yourself, cocky and narcissistic. No, we're not talking that. But just full of who you are. Before I had the conversation that came before this particular video that stoked the thoughts that I'm sharing now, which I've shared them before in different broadcasts. But earlier, I was just laughing. I was singing certain songs, I was thinking certain memories, and I'm just feeling so good. Because I've been very successful in keeping certain hollows away from me. Because pretty much 99.9%, if they cannot see you, they cannot attack you. I'm home a lot. I'm on my balconies, I'm on the property, I got a big wall around the place. Nobody really sees me or hardly hears me. I don't even make that much noise. Nobody. Unless you happen to catch me walking down the street. But I maintain, I keep myself topped off. It's just like my phone right here, right? You see, it's on the cord. It's always at 100%. When I take it off, of course it goes down, but I don't let it sit around at 27% and not get a charge. I keep myself topped off, and I know how to keep my spirit full and happy and nourished. So when thoughts that people try to put in my head, or in a way, put it in your head in a non-direct way, meaning that they'll say one thing that seems harmless and something else that seems harmless, but together it works on your mind. They may come to you and say, hey, I noticed you dropped a little weight. Are you okay? Are you sick, or are you going through something? But I'm just concerned. and it may not be anything wrong with you. You may not have dropped weight. Or is there something bothering you because you've been, looking tired, like I see the dark circles under your eyes. It may not even be dark circles under your eyes. But because you trust this person with their assessment of you, you take it and say, well, maybe I am looking tired. Maybe there's something, maybe I am stressed. When stress comes to me, it's as though I consider myself a good person with a good heart, with good energy. When stress is purposely thrown at me from somebody who's trying to take away my momentum toward me becoming the best person that I'm supposed to be, I will send them back with stress. I will stress the stressor, and I'm not an evil person, but I'm going to protect myself. It's like the war with Iran right now. They didn't start it, but they basically said, if you throw a nuke at us, we're throwing a nuke at you. That's divine, and you have to know that. And that's an energy thing. When I've walked down neighborhoods that may have had a reputation for being a little testy, maybe violent when they don't know a person, I don't go there looking like I'm tough or trying to challenge somebody with the eyesight and staring them down. But I throw off an energy within myself that if you do something to me, I'm going to do something right back to you tenfold. And it's not a matter of looking tough. You can be smiling, you can be on the phone talking, whatever. But if you think that, the predators will pick up on that. It's deep. It's deep. I never had any problem when I worked with those who are incarcerated, whether it was a prison or a jail. Because I'm laid back, I'm cool. Hey, Scurv, man, you the coolest one. Man, I like you, man. So I'm just as cool. I never had to rev my engine. Because they knew deep down, if you challenge me, you might get me, if it's a few of y'all, but somebody's gonna come away hurting too, like this. But I'm loving. And people get more in shock when you have that other side that understands that you're not taking my joy, you're not taking my peace. So again, when you start to look back on your life, and I'm not saying having regrets, but really begin to question, like, if I did something different, maybe I would end up in a better place. There's a better place waiting for you. Those were lessons. And where you are now, you can always ascend. You can always get better. You can always go to the better place. Like I always say, if you're supposed to get off on the highway and it says, get off at exit 23, but exit 23 is blocked for some reason, or you're listening to the song, the music, and you forgot to get off on exit 23, you can get off on exit 24 or 25 and come back to it. There are many ways to the glorious realities that you think that you missed. Never forget that. There were times in my life, y'all don't know. There were times in my life I just looked up at the sky and said, God, is this it? Am I defeated? I know there's more. This can't be it. Situations that look like it was so blocked in and you're being attacked and your goodness is used against you and you're saying, how the heck did I end up in this situation? And the answer may not come right away, but just hold on, because you will be released from that. You will ascend over that. And one day it'll be a distant memory where you won't even think about the frustration that you went through at that time in your life. I'm proof positive of that. I know this. As they say in church, you have a testimony. A testimony? Shoot. I got library fulls of testimonies. Serious. And again, I'm humble. I don't think I'm all that. I'm not high on myself like, yeah. No, because it wasn't me that brought me out of those situations or brought me above those situations. I'm not taking credit for that. All I can take credit for is that my submission to divine law. That's all. That's all. If you have the right things inside of you, and the right things in your mind, and the right intentions, and you're making sure to keep your spirit as clean and pure as you possibly can, good and loving, but budget it out. Don't invite these hollows into your life. They're there to take and destroy you. And they'll take the goodness that you have. They can't hold it inside of them, but they'll enjoy it a little bit like a stolen car. The thieves will joyride a little bit before they ditch the car. But you're destroyed because they got you. No. You can become predatory on them to get them up off you and away from you. Because once you have your reality a certain way, you're living the way you want to live, you're vibrating the way you want to vibrate, you can go and eat what you need to eat, you can take care of yourself the way you want to take care of yourself, and please love yourself. Never forsake yourself and think that it's love to let yourself get damaged because you're giving to this other person who don't even give a damn about you. That's a whole other conversation, and we're going to have it. And I do say that I appreciate the text messages directly on WhatsApp to my phone. Let me know what you want to talk about or communicate with me that way. It's the easiest way. My emails they fly. They fly. But I'm just going to wrap it up on that. That was straight from the hip. I knew I would get out what I had to share. Let me know what you think about that. I love these deep topics. I love to think this way because life is precious. This life is but a pit stop to eternity. Eternity is much longer than our time here on this earth. You know, when you're having a race and they go on for the pit stop and they change the tires and they do stuff to make the car run better and they go back on the race again. This is brief. But even if it's brief, I'm extracting as much as I can out of it, enjoying it and making myself better, because in the pit stop, that's what they do to the cars. They make it better for the race, that whatever damage they took on the racetrack prior, they're correcting it. Correct yourself, hone yourself, develop yourself, chisel away anything that might be trying to stick to you that is not of your good spirit. And that alone is going to make you rise above, so that way you will never have to fear the thing that they call death, and you'll know that it's transition only. You go into a different grade. It's not death when you leave third grade to go to the fourth grade. You ascend. You're better. You're wiser. Take these lessons and learn from them. Protect yourself and get yourself ready for the next level. To be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. That's all we can do. But don't let these hollows pull you down. Because see, they have nothing to look forward to as far as transitioning. They know that they're destined for the junk heap, the big dumpster, the garbage can, because what's in them is to pull people down. That's their job. That's their job. But that's not your job. Anyway, I want to say salute to my brothers. Much love to my sisters. It's always good vibing here with you. Again, 407-590-0755 is my WhatsApp number. Shoot me a text. Leave a comment, question, statement, whatever. And I love the long comments. I have to call you out in a good way. Memographics. I love your long comments, right? And I do have to say that you said where you lived in Manhattan. Well, briefly before we moved to Queens, I lived on 152nd Street between Amsterdam and St. Nick, right where Convent Avenue begins, right there. 454 West 152nd Street, apartment 54. That's where it was. We got to talk for real. Anyway, 6 degrees of separation, which some of us is only 2 degrees or 1 degree. We're closer than we think if we dig deep enough. Anyway, it's always a pleasure. Lance Scurv out. I love you all. Take care. Peace.